Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Whatever, Whenever, the show where we talk about whatever we want, whenever we want. I am Robin.
And I'm the Mentok, the whenever in this situation.
And I'm the Whatever. And we have a special guest for the second time ever on the show. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Dallen. I make video games sometimes.
Yes. And
Finally, someone that makes video games on our podcast, our second official guest.
yes.
I make those games whenever and wherever.
One time we were asked Whyever.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
What was the answer?
so-
I don't know.
What was the
I don't
answer?
know if we came up with an answer. I think it's just one of
We're
life's greatest mysteries.
We're still searching.
We're still searching.
That's part of life, right? The journey, the search
Yeah.
for answers.
Yeah, it's like Persona 3, you know, you got the journey, which is good, and the answer, which is kind of mediocre.
I don't think I actually legitimately beat the answer, and I was obsessed with the.
You're not missing out on much, honestly. I'm just
I just watched it on YouTube.
Yeah,
Don't worry, I
that's
know what
fair.
happened.
Yeah. Well,
So yeah, go ahead and introduce our guest, Robin.
yes.
What is he? What is he good for? Absolutely no. I'm just kidding.
So this is
Go ahead, Robin.
So this is Dallen. I have interviewed him before over on my Newgrounds. That interview will be linked in the description. He is the game director for an upcoming platform fighter that stars a bunch of indie games in it called Indie Rumble.
And we did have some time to talk a little bit about it in the past because you did interview him before, right, on your Newgrounds?
Yes.
Yes. So here we are today.
I feel so special.
Look how far we've come.
Yeah.
Apparently.
So
I'm really happy to be here.
yeah, that's good. So, tell us about yourself, man. What do you like? What games are you into and all that stuff?
Everything.
Everything.
I play basically everything. When I was a kid, I was like probably everyone else. I was obsessed with Minecraft, and I did a lot with the command blocks. I was like one of those kind of people, and that kind of led me into programming, I guess. But now I literally play everything. I guess half of my job now is playing things. I have to understand, like characters and stuff. When I'm working on them, or when the whole team's working on them, I guess we all kind of have to have a pretty big understanding of the games we play, of the games that we're representing. So that's kind of half my job, is just playing literally a bunch of different kinds of games. But I like, I'm a big RPG guy, so that's probably, yeah.
Oh, nice.
That's good. We love them around here. I've grown up with RPGs of all sizes. I used to so I'm a little bit older, but my main era with like RPGs was the PS2 age, and I just remember just going to the store like GameStop and just looking for like some niche Japanese game, and I'm like, oh, maybe this one, and that's how I learned about a lot of franchises that are still around to this day. And I'm not talking like Final Fantasy, because that's mainstream. I'm talking like Atelier Iris and all those things, and Artonelico and all, I don't know, just random stuff. So we know about RPGs around here, so there's that.
Yeah,
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, I grew up. Pokemon Platinum was like my first real game, and then that kind of just got me into RPGs in general. I later got Chrono Trigger for the DS, and Final
Masterpiece.
Fantasy IV on the DS as well, the remake. Attack of the Saiyans, the Dragon Ball one. I never finished it, but I loved it. I don't know why I didn't.
That's
finish
the
it.
that's the only Dragon Ball game I passed on back in the day.
Oh yeah, you missed out big time. That game's great because it takes all of these, you can tell the people who made it loved Dragon Ball so much. They put all these little references to the show in there, and the best part of all is if Yamcha falls in battle, his death sprite is the fucking Yamcha pose when he dies in the show. by the Cybermen.
You know what's I'm sidetracking here, and we sidetrack a ton in this podcast. It's just ridiculous. But now that you mentioned that, I feel like the DS games, 3DS games, and even Game Boy Advance games to a certain extent, I think those are just kind of lost to time now.
Yeah.
Yeah, sucks, because like, there's like some games that like were very unique and can only really be done on those systems. Like, I've heard that the World Ends With You port on Switch is good, but I haven't played it because I have the original on DS, and I don't know how you could really replicate that battle system without two screens.
Yeah.
I give it to them for trying though.
Yeah.
I wasn't a huge fan of the port. I love The World Ends With You. For a long time, that was my favorite game ever. But, yeah, I was not a fan of the Switch port. It was not a lot of fun. The sequel, though, it was
the sequel
so
was
good.
fire.
Yeah,
What a surprise that was. I don't think we're getting any more because, of course, like in Square Enix fashion, they said this did not impress us.
Yeah.
The sales
Yeah. I mean,
failed to exceed expectations.
I'm partially to blame for it because I still haven't played it yet, but
Yeah.
Well, it's your fault that we're not getting another one.
Yeah, come on. It's strictly you.
Yes. I'm sorry. I ruined the World Ends With You franchise for everyone. Me specifically.
So, I guess what are you playing right now?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, oh god. I've been playing a lot of Jet Set Radio recently, hence the profile picture almost everywhere.
Oh, man of culture.
Yeah. And I came off. It's been a year. I'll say it. It's been a year, but I finished Amori when it released, and I have not gotten off of that. It's a game that I don't know if either of you have played Amori.
Yeah, I played a little bit. It's just the battle system was kind of overwhelming.
I've got
that night that I played it.
I've kind of been avoiding playing it honestly because I've had some less than stellar interactions with the fan base, and I know you're not supposed to. I know you're not supposed to let fan bases ruin things for you, but sometimes it just kind of happens,
Yeah, no, I get that. That kind of happened with me and Deltarune. I love Deltarune Chapter 1, and then when 2 got released, I was like, I really don't want to play this anymore because everyone was talking about it. And I was like, I want to go through Twitter without seeing Deltarune for 2 seconds. And
we have a new generation of toxic fans.
Yeah.
I got off Twitter. I mean, my account's still there, and I check it sometimes. But for the most part, I just don't use it.
Yeah. I deleted the app the other day. I still browse through the website, but it's a lot less It's a lot less tempting to have to actually go through the internet browser. So.
Yeah. That's good.
There's a lot of games floating around right now, though. We discussed a few. I don't know if any of these have piqued your interest, but like Horizon Forbidden West and Elden Ring, Pokemon Arceus. It's kind of a pretty big start to the year, but there's just so many games within the last few years I'm still catching up on.
Yeah, I got Ace Attorney Detective Chronicles for Christmas, and I was so close to just beating the whole game, and then of course Legends Arceus came out, and that just ate up all of my time. So I finally got back to playing it this morning, and I'm on the second to last trial, and it's pretty intense. I like it.
I can't believe they already announced the next gen Pokemon games, and I on top of that, I can't believe they're coming out this year.
Yeah,
that is insane.
Yeah, we on the show, me and Mentok, we were both very confidently no, they're not gonna reveal Gen 3 until at least 2023, or if they do reveal it this year, it's not gonna come out until next year. And then
Gen 9.
Literally the next day, essentially. It was Gen 9, it's coming this fall. It's always the second we stop recording something, more news comes out about what we were literally just talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
That happens.
Yeah. Especially when we were...
Activision.
Yeah, we were just covering that Activision stuff, and we'd put up an episode, and then literally the second we stop recording and we send off the files for Ricky to edit, it's like, oh, did you hear that they're even worse than you thought they were? And we're like, God damn it.
Yeah, that story was writing itself for weeks.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
But, yeah. So, that's Yeah. I have no words. I didn't sleep well last night.
Well, I wanted to kind of pick your brain. I know Robin like interviewed you for his Newgrounds. What do they call it? Channel? Newgrounds page?
It's just
Yeah, I don't
Newgrounds?
use Newgrounds.
Yeah.
But I guess I wanted to ask about the life of a developer. I know you're hard at work on your game, so I guess like what's your day to day like, and do you have a team you're working with, or is this a solo venture? Just general questions regarding that.
Yeah, busy, I guess. It's the big one. Indie Rumble started as a solo project, and I was pretty confident I was going to be able to push out everything on my own, but the art style was shit. We can swear, right? Like, I don't think.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I
okay.
don't give a fuck what you say on my fucking show. You can fucking say as many fucking
Oh,
slurs
God.
as you fucking want.
Okay.
See, now that they've destroyed our chances at monetization right there.
No, we're not making money on this yet, anyways.
Anyway, go ahead.
But yeah, the art style was dog shit, and it's kind of hard, both programming, getting licenses, making art, making music. You know, it's a lot for one person.
Right.
So I was super lucky. I had a bunch of artists message me when the game was like had mixed reception. Basically, they were like, "Oh, we'll help you out. We're not going to change the art style too much." That was a lie. The art style got completely redone, which is perfect, by the way. I'm so thankful for that. But obviously, making games, not only is it not easy, it's expensive. It's an expensive endeavor. It always is.
Of course. Yeah.
I've spent like literally my life since 2013, and I'm pretty young, by the way. I'm not like, I'm pretty young. I'm fresh out of high school. I'm like, I'm a year into college, and it's just all of my games. I've been since 2013. Like, I was a little kid. I've been making games. I've been programming, and I do that so I could build up to a bigger project. And I don't want to say, obviously, all of this has been building up to Indie Rumble, but, like, this is kind of the biggest project yet.
Right.
And I literally could not be doing this alone anymore. And I had to recently, since I'm a college student, college is expensive, and game dev is expensive. I want to spend all day, every day working on the game. Sadly, right now, that's not possible. The game isn't even in early access yet. I'm not getting any income from the game. That's why I made my previous game, so I could get passive income to support this, but it still doesn't bring in enough that I can live off of yet. And so because of that, I recently picked up a job, local job, and they pay really well, but that's basically, I spend almost all day either doing schoolwork, working on a job, or working on Indie Rumble. I have literally no free time ever. I genuinely can't think back to the last time I had a day to myself. And it's not, I say that out loud and it sounds bad, but to me, that's normal. And I think, like, I'm so adjusted to that, and I'm so okay with that. Like, to me, that's just, that's life, it's not bad.
Yeah, like, on one hand, I want to just, like, remind you to, like, take a day off every now and then if you really need it. But at the same time, I haven't read One Piece, but the dude who's been making One Piece has been literally working 7 days a week, 24/7, his entire, like, life, essentially, for the past 30 years. So
yeah,
I don't know how.
Yeah, it's that conundrum, right? You want to follow your dreams, and, like, I think, when you do something that you're passionate about, it feels a little less exhausting. Not to say that it's not exhausting, but it's going towards something that you believe in, and I think that's the most important part.
Absolutely.
Balancing is very important, and, like, I like have this channel that I'm running, and I'm trying to put out, like, weekly content, and it's extremely difficult, and and I don't want to compare apples to oranges here, but like the idea that I really want to keep this channel and like keep up the content and stuff, it kind of pushes me to just realize, okay, well, this is something that you want to do, and you just got to put your best foot forward while you can, but also find that balance, where you're not physically feeling it and mentally feeling it, like just regular tired and exhaustion is okay, but just understand if you're pushing yourself too far in any direction, just to make sure you manage that properly.
Yeah, and I'm sure you guys of all people could understand like how that feels, because you guys are both artists in your own way. We're all artists, and so you guys out of most people would understand where I'm coming from with that.
Yeah, like Mentok is obviously, he's like a streamer and a video maker, and I used to make videos, but they all had my face in them, so I took them down. But now I just go around kind of like interviewing people. I got like 2 guys, one of which I'm like extremely excited for. I think I told both of you who that guy was already. And then I also am working in RPG Maker to try and make like my own games, and I don't like coding. I like notoriously frustrates me to the point where I want to rip my hair out, my long luscious golden locks. but it's like it's a simpler program, and it's easy for me to wrap my head around, and it's good for storytelling. So I just like telling stories and writing and stuff, so I've been mainly using that. And yeah, it is kind of hard. Like there's just been some days where I'm just not motivated at all to like work, and that sucks. But it's just sometimes you have an off day, and other days it's like you just want to do nothing but work, and you just want to like write all of this script, and you want to like be like, yeah, I will reach out to 5 different people today and anxiously check my Twitter messages to see if they have responded to me at all.
I feel that so hard as somebody who spends their free time fucking reaching out to IP holders. I'll send an email, and 2 minutes later, I'm like, oh, they didn't respond. They don't want to be an indie rebel.
Oh yeah, no, that was literally me like yesterday when I was when I messaged that one guy who like I'll just type out who it is so that we both know who I'm talking about. But yeah, like when I was messaging like that guy, I like looked at the account and I was like, okay, it's a branded account. It's got like a tick on it. He's probably not gonna see this. They're probably just gonna be like, oh, it's some schmuck with 21 followers on fucking Newgrounds. He's not gonna. What was this guy even doing? But no, he responded and was like, yeah, sure, I'm down for an interview. And I saw that and I was like, oh no. I have to actually interview him now.
I have to put my money where my mouth is now.
Yeah.
I mean, but yeah, I mean, you never know until you try, right? Like, I tweet, like, I guess I'm not as successful with this stuff, but I tweet at people all the time, like, I'm still waiting for a response back from the Sonic PR team on just giving me some additional access to their merch and games, but I don't think they're gonna respond.
I can actually, after the podcast ends, I might be able to actually help you with that a little bit. I have lots of contacts at Sega, and I've gotten a bunch of Sega games for free in the copies.
Oh, nice.
Oh, cool.
Networking's really big, so I can definitely help you out with that after this. I'll send you all their contact info.
Oh, nice. Because I don't have a ton of clout, but I feel like I have enough to at least rep their merch.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what my channel is all about.
I mean, you're the guy who predicted the Sonic movie trailer, so you should get at least something.
I should get something.
Yeah.
A little medal at least.
Yeah. Oh,
man.
Dallen, do you know this story? Oh, no. Yeah.
Okay, so let me introduce myself. So I'm the Mentok. I'm from the year 2031. So I'm not even born yet in this timeline. And so, like I decided to go back to the past, and I basically made this old Sonic AMV with the song Gangsta's Paradise on it in 2006.
That was you?
That was me.
That was you? I saw that. That was awesome.
So that's indeed me. And then I'm just like, it's funny because that whole video, like the comment section popped off, right? And like I'm getting all these emails with all these comments and stuff like throughout the day, and I thought it would just hit like 100,000, 200,000, and I was gonna laugh it off and move on, right? Next thing you know, it's like at 3 million views, and people are like commenting nonstop, even to
You're
this day.
legend.
So, yeah, apparently, so Sega ignored my ass entirely. No, just kidding. But yeah, I mean, after that, I decided like, why not make like real content? Because I've been wanting to do that for a while. I just figured like by the time like I had the means to do it, everybody was already like way ahead of me on YouTube. Like, I could have started this when PewDiePie did, and I just didn't have the foresight to actually like step forward and do that. So. Yeah. When I had like, a little bit of a following, I'm just like, let me just put out videos and see how people feel about it, which was very nerve wracking, by the way. And, finally I did it, and, like the channel has its ups and downs, but like I've gotten up to, 15.5 thousand, like 15.5K subscribers. So it's been an interesting journey.
Yeah.
And, like now I'm doing like, backstories on video game characters. That's the main like content, and like just origin stories and things like that. So that's kind of what I'm focusing on now, but like it's mostly like Sonic stuff and Sonic related. So I've kept with the theme for the most part.
Yeah,
and that's love Sega so much.
Yeah, that's how we actually first met too. Is I subscribed to this channel because of like the Gangsta's Paradise video, and then he like uploaded that like Super Smash Bros like edit thing, like teasing that he was going to be making more videos, and I was like, this could be interesting. And like I saw his like announcement trailer, and I was like, cool, we'll see how this goes. And then like my first time ever talking to him was like he was doing a live stream to like for charity for like a recent hurricane that had happened, and we just got to talking, and he was a cool dude. And then I just kept appearing in like his comments and in his live streams, and now we're doing a podcast together.
Mentok, we both have our huge one-off claim to fames. I was do you remember the Nintendo parody account that had Mario and Luigi kissing that like blew up?
Oh,
that
was you?
That was you?
That was me. I remember one of my proudest moments of that was
God.
one of like Trump's ministers or some shit, someone related, someone like who had direct connections to Trump, who was like in the office for a long time, quote retweeted it and said like, this is disgusting. And that was one of the like, that was one of my moments for me where I was just like, yeah, I've done it, I've made it.
That's
I love when like politicians like low key bully like a bunch of kids online.
Yeah.
it's I love that.
This is disgusting. It's like, well, it's
made
by a teenager. Yeah. I mean, so hey, you never know what's gonna take off online, and that's kind of like why I support you making Indie Rumble, and like how does it feel to get like this ongoing support from like other indie devs and stuff? Like, what's that experience like?
Really good. It feels dopamine straight into my brain. I gotta say, I'm the most appreciative of the developers who can continuously show their support, such as like Nitrome, who not only retweeted, but like they got the CEO of Nitrome retweeted, and like other high up developers at Nitrome retweeted, basically constantly showing their support for Indie Rumble, basically being like, not only are we letting our characters into this, but we love this project. Like, this feels like home to us.
Right.
To me, getting approval from like a company that like helped shape my childhood is really huge, especially because like game dev has always been my dream since I was like a little kid. So it's huge to see this kind of getting as big as it is, but it's also kind of scary because I don't want anyone to be disappointed when it does come out. I don't.
Yeah, that's
the creative process in a nutshell, right?
Yeah, that's the problem with like gaining an audience. You're like, oh, thank you so much for your support, but then at the same time, in the back of your mind is like this building cloud of like negativity saying like, oh, if you do like one thing wrong, they're all gonna abandon you and all hate you and all drag your name through the mud for the rest of your life, right? And like it's not true, but it's just like that kind of imposter syndrome.
Imposter
Is what
syndrome.
it's called. I think that's
Yeah,
what it's called.
yeah.
I think that's
It
the
is.
name of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to give you props. I mean, I know that you said you didn't necessarily do the artwork, but I really like the sprite work for Boyfriend. Like that type of stuff is like right up in my alley, because I know you mentioned that you weren't really a part of Newgrounds, but like that was kind of the site that I had to just basically come home to every day, like after school when I was growing up. And they had a lot of like interesting projects like this, and granted to a much smaller scale, but like I have that kind of nostalgic feel when I look at Indie Rumble, because it reminds me of like those games. I'm just like, oh my god, this is a big like for Newgrounds. I'm like, man, and this is free, So I like seeing Indie Rumble come out with this. It just kind of reminds me of those cool little games that I used to see, and they used to like trend for years or months and years. So it was like, it's cool to see like that kind of indie platform like still thriving like on Steam.
It makes
and stuff
me
like
really
that
happy
with
you
this game.
say that.
Yeah,
A lot of the team comes from Newgrounds, or like Newgrounds related kind of content. And I think that's literally exactly what we were going for, that kind of feel. Yeah.
I was in crazy.
Yeah. See, like I think it's really cool that you've gotten like so many different like characters that you just never would think would cross over. Like I mean like when I saw the promotional art of like the Boyfriend and Alex from Y2K like jamming out together, I was like, what the fuck, is this real? Like I had just woken up and I had just seen that like in my feed, and I was like,
yeah,
what the
very
hell?
very wide range of characters, and that's something we can use a lot of I remember, especially in the very beginning, a lot of the time people brought up frame makers, and I love frame makers. A lot of the frame makers devs have shared a very similar sentiment with Indie Rumble. They basically said, we love Indie Rumble. It's just different, because they're just different games. And I know a lot of people were coming into Indie Rumble because our character choices were so crazy, like when compared to like what you would think in a standard crossover game like this. Yeah, definitely some interesting picks, and I'm really, really proud of those, to be honest. Those are some of my favorites. Like Alex is definitely the meme pick. A lot of people bring up Alex a whole bunch, but I love Y2K. I love Axe Studios. Yeah, and like the devs are super chill, and I love both of them a ton, and I really appreciate what they've done.
Yeah. Andrew's a really
I still haven't played it, so
yeah. I was about to say that update.
Fresh perspective when that update comes out.
Yeah, no, I've been telling him to wait for the update. I've been playing it recently. They've been well, I'm not allowed to like say what they've been doing, but they've been doing stuff, and I like this stuff.
I can agree.
Yeah. Yes. Mentok's over here. Mentok's over here like, you fucking privileged motherfuckers with your NDAs.
Yeah, right? You get that friggin' early access. So like the soundtrack for Indie Rumble, right? Is it totally remixed by Exclaim? Is that their name?
We do have
multiple
multiple
people.
I'm gonna butcher this. This person's not been on a call yet, so I don't know how to pronounce their name. This is gonna kill me. It's either Laya or Leah. She does some music. She does more original compositions and remixes. Exclaim has a big focus on remixes. We're thinking about reaching out there to get more people. But Exclaim has done all the music we've shown off publicly so far, and I think he's done a great job. I love all the music.
Okay.
It really is.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
Yeah. I love the version of the track that you used for the kid from I Want to Be the Guy, because obviously that game used a bunch of copyrighted music, but you were able to skirt around that by just kind of sampling from like the Wily stage from Mega Man 2.
Yeah, no,
I thought it
that's
was
definitely.
well.
I think Exclaim. If Exclaim was here, he would definitely talk about it more. But very, very talented. Created literally something out of. It's cool to do. I remember that was a question we got a lot earlier on. Was, you can't really remix "I Want to Be the Guy." It doesn't. It all has copyrighted music, and Exclaim did a pretty good job with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's good. Yes. But yeah.
So yeah, I think like my last question, by the way, and then we can have a more lighthearted conversation because I don't want to put you on the spot with all these questions. But I guess what's your favorite part about working on this then? Is it like the administrative side, like getting all these things together, all these indie devs to kind of contribute their creations, or is it more so like the programming?
Yeah.
Are you the lead programmer on this? Okay. Yeah, so like that's kind of like the, because I've worked in the tech industry for a while now, like I'm doxing myself by saying that. But there's always like the business side and then there's like the dev side, right? And there's like a little gray area overlap. So I guess where would you place yourself there?
Honest.
Like as far as what you
that seems like a cop-out answer, like it's but I really do. There's getting a developer to say yes to an idea you have and like approving it fully feels so good.
Mm-hmm.
We teased, I guess you guys weren't really in the server before Alex. But before Alex was officially announced, me and the rest of the team kept teasing him. We kept adding a bunch of like Alex emotes, kept quoting him from the game. We were very clearly teasing that Alex was our next character. We did that at a weird time where we already had the Alex voice actor, Chris, agree to do he already recorded the voice lines, but Axe Studio wasn't fully on board yet. They were they wanted it. They were interested, but they didn't commit to it yet. So there was a chance at that point where we didn't get Alex and that we just got the voice actor to agree to it. And that would have obviously been really bad. But playing with fire like that in the long term really paid off. No, you're good.
That reminds me of like, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but like that reminds me of how like Mortal Kombat, the new one, 11 I think it is or something. They like heavily teased that Ash Williams from the Evil Dead series was going to be a playable fighter. Like they had like his chainsaw appear at the end of a trailer. They had someone on their social media team say the next character is going to be Groovy or something, and then like Bruce Campbell was even like, yeah, he's going to be in the game. It's so cool. And then he was like, nope, he's not. Sorry, it's not going to work. And then
that sucks.
Joker in instead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe the deal just fell through.
Yeah. So like usually in something like that, we wouldn't tease a bunch, but I think the whole team was pretty confident that they were gonna say yes. I think it would be weird from their point to say no. At that point, I can't disclose all the details that goes into character licensing, but like with that character specifically, for them it did not make sense to say no. Not that that's a bad thing. I'm very thankful that they said yes, but after we were teasing it and then being able to fully confirm it is happening was huge for us. That felt really good. But at the same time, realistically, I spend most of my day in Game Maker Studios writing, importing art assets, so like writing code, I mean. So I probably spend more time making the game itself, and that's fun on its own right. I've always enjoyed making games and programming and all that stuff, but I think I do believe revealing characters and negotiating is a little bit more fun. So maybe a little bit more towards there, but I still find them both really, really fun to do, and for their own separate reasons. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So. So yeah.
I think I'm all good. Yeah.
Are we all good? Yeah. All right. Well, in that case, did you guys hear the news about EA?
Yeah.
That
Depends which news.
yeah. You know,
that news. Yes.
Both of us about
I did.
But
yeah. I did in fact hear about that news.
Way to spoil the moment. I was trying to play along.
Oh yeah. That news. Okay. I'll stop bullshit.
If you're gonna spoil the fact that I said it beforehand, you're spoiling the whole idea of you asking.
Yeah,
so it's like
I know. I don't know. I had like a brain fart or something.
No, it's fine. So here's the news, everybody, because you guys are the only ones who don't know. So there was a statement from EA Sports, FIFA edition, or their division. Sorry, they're removing the Russian national team and Russian clubs from the FIFA games, which is a pretty big deal. Like I was telling Robin before the podcast, I'm just like, I'm surprised at this more so than Russian flights being banned from landing in the U.S. and Europe. You know, like that was like announced during the State of the Union address. I think that was yesterday. So I was just like, oh, okay, I expect that. But now I'm like, what? Russia's not going to be in FIFA. So, that's kind of the big news right now. Like, a lot of this is affecting the game dev community right now. There was like a lot of game devs that put out, a solid message around support for Ukraine. And, a lot of them are pulling out Russian references and, support. It's kind of wild how quickly that's happening.
Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of like, I don't know. That's true. EA of all companies. I didn't expect EA of all companies to do this, because I mean,
is it just me? But from all the shit that happened with Activision, EA looks kind of this year.
Yeah, I know that the joke for forever has been EA doesn't stand for Electronic Arts; it actually stands for Evil Association. But but I think that after just everything that happened with Activision last year and everything that we talked about, which you can see in our earlier episodes, I honestly don't look that down upon EA as much. I mean, obviously, I still don't like them because I think that they're scummy with their microtransaction practices, and I think that they've done a lot of anti-consumer things recently.
Yeah,
but,
that's true. Yeah, that we know of.
What Activision did. That we know of.
I'm actually.
Knock on wood. Yeah, let me just.
That we know of.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm going through
allegedly not doing things that Activision.
I gotta be honest. I'm seeing a lot of negativity to this, which to me is interesting. I thought this would have been a pretty overall positive response.
Yeah, I can't help but wonder if it's just that people on Twitter are misinformed or something. Because because I'm just gonna say this right now. There's a lot of these I think we briefly mentioned it last episode, but there's a lot of these Twitter communist people who I got nothing wrong if you're a commie, you filthy red, get away from me. But no, I got nothing wrong if you're an actual communist whatever. But you gotta understand, Putin's not a communist leader. He's a capitalist dictator. You gotta understand.
This is the most extreme version of capitalism right there.
It is. It's you gotta understand, Russia hasn't been communist for centuries. So saying all this stuff about how it's good that they're invading Ukraine and all that stuff because, it's your precious communist nation that hates the U.S. It's like, no, come on.
Just for the record, it's been decades. I don't want anyone to call us out in the comments like it was not that long ago when you said centuries. So I just want to be careful with our P's and Q's here.
Yeah.
USSR was a few decades ago, but to your point, I mean, I'm not going against your point.
Yeah.
Do you see it too? Do you see like?
But yeah, I mean, in this comments section here, I'm looking at Twitter right now, and people are like, "For what reason exactly?" Yeah. How does this help or go toward resolving anything? And like, what's EA supposed to do as like a gaming company really? Aside from this, this is not like a situation with Blizzard where they changed the name of McCree and like tried to save face by doing that.
You could make the argument of like, they're like a multi-million-dollar company. Why can't they donate to like Ukraine or something? And it's like, yeah, they can do that, I guess, but
that's not the point that this person is making.
That you're making.
They're saying most Russians I know do not agree with this invasion, which is the truth. But I think the approach here is to just starve, for lack of a better word, like just Russian engagement from the rest of the world until they have no option but to quit.
Yeah.
And that's the approach that people are trying to make here. So I don't think anyone's really, well, I'm sure there's someone out there denouncing actual Russian citizens, which there's always going to be misinformed and stupid people online that will do stuff like that. Yeah. But like, at the end of the day, like all these actions are going to hurt the Russian people, which is unfortunate. And their government kind of put them in this predicament in the first place. And it's a very complicated situation. But like, I honestly think that this is the newest way that war is working right now. Like I've literally never heard or seen anything like this before, where like people are starving somebody's economy, like the speed and like the rate that this is going. Like it's pretty wild. This is like unprecedented at the moment.
Yeah, I've never seen this in my lifetime. I mean, obviously there was like Afghanistan and stuff, and I do have my own history with that I don't want to get into, but like yeah, I don't know. It's like, I really am tired of living.
I agree. I am of the opinion that it is also bad that we live in bad times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. By the time like Gen X or millennials start dominating politics, it's gonna be like we're gonna be old people.
Yeah, it's like my generation is gonna be the generation that's telling your generation that you're old and out of touch, and that you need to get out of office.
I hope not. We're not that far apart. It's probably gonna be like Gen Alpha. I'll put it down to that.
Probably.
It's probably gonna be
Alpha. Oh.
Gen Alpha.
Oh, that makes my face
is a thing.
Crunch. Just crunch up.
That's every new baby being born right now is of Gen Alpha.
That's so weird. I'm like on the cusp of Gen Z millennial. You're like a full blown millennial. I don't know what you are.
I don't know either.
What year? What year were you born?
No, he'd be Gen Z. He'd be considered
probably Gen Z. Yeah. Oof. I'm so sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry for their actions. Brit me with them.
Nah. No, it's okay.
I mean, okay. I'm not one of those people that look at Gen Z as like
I am one of those people.
Where that narrative came from. I mean, I will say your memes are very different, but I don't get some of them. But then like yeah, the memes that are on YouTube right now, like, or even the people in my chat, they'll like they'll send me memes, and I'm just like, I can't. It does not compute with my outdated millennial brain.
Yeah, you still have like the lol so random mid-2000s humor in your head.
Yeah, I think that was like the origin of all of that.
Not the Wojaks, like the troll.
So like it's like this evolved form.
Yeah.
the troll face and all that. That's peak millennial humor. But right before that was YouTube poops, which
I mean,
if I see them these days, I don't understand them either.
yeah. I mean, like
but they still make me
yeah,
laugh.
there's a bunch of old ones that still make me laugh. Like I remember watching this. I've never seen a single episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but I have seen this YTP of one where where Carl dies and he keeps asking the butler to make him a sandwich the entire episode.
What?
I'll send it to you later if I find it.
I need to see that.
Yeah. Hey, Will, can
I'm
you make
so
me a
disappointed
sandwich?
that I just learned I'm Gen Z. I'm so. I
mean,
don't wanna be. This is the worst day of my life.
This is
Don't.
This is like
Nah. I mean, hey, you guys are still not the. I mean, they still confuse us with you guys. They call Gen Z millennials these days now too, which is like.
I mean, it just goes to show
that shows
old
how
they are.
out of touch. Yeah, like they're so old that they're just looping in two total generations together. And while we're not that different, like the age gap is not that big, but it's still like, they discredit the millennial generation, which, some will say it's harmless, but like it's hard for you to enter politics without that ageist type of like perspective, right? How do you make like genuine change if everybody in the current political climate just looks down on you like, oh well, you're young and you don't know shit? It's like I'm pushing like 30 plus, like come on, isn't this the age limit for senators? Like, isn't that what we're supposed to be doing? Not to say that I would ever run for politics, but like there's a lot of millennial aged politicians that go through this every single day.
Yeah, well, you're almost 30. You can almost run for president. You have to be like 30 to run, I think, right? Or was it like 30?
I think
thought
it's
it was
30.
35.
It's 32.
I was always
30.
told
I'm
35
getting
for
there.
some
Yeah,
Oh wait, it's 35.
It's
You're right.
35,
32 is the
yeah.
Senate. Yeah.
yeah. That's so weird. Why 35?
The second you turn 35,
Like-
you're eligible.
Like they could,
Didn't you?
You are now old enough.
yeah. No, it's,
your brain unlocks.
it's like-
right. It's like your final evolution is level 35.
It's you're now eligible to run for president. Yeah, I don't know. It's such a weird age. It's like they couldn't decide between 30 and 40, so they were like, you know what, fuck it, the middle.
I mean, from experience, I guarantee you, like, nothing significant happens when you turn 30. Yeah, people just in your generation will just complain about how old they're getting.
Yeah.
Just remember I said that. They're probably already doing it now. So
You're sitting.
Well,
You're like over here talking to us like this is what's happening to me. Get ready, because in 10 years it'll happen to you.
it's going to. It's more of my annoyance with like the people around me. They're like trying to make themselves old.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we're getting so old, or like the slightest back pain. I'm like, I had back pain when I was in college, like as a 19-year-old.
I had scoliosis that magically vanished one day, and I'm not even making that up. So don't even come at me with back pains.
So like the moment people start feeling that stuff, it's just like, oh, we're getting so old.
I gotta say, as someone who's like on the verge of turning 20, I finally got like to vote, and that's something I've always wanted to do. But in like this last election, I got to vote, and I gotta say, for people in or like roughly around my age who also this was their first time voting, god damn these choices. They really made us choose between fucking Trump and Biden, and I like can you imagine me as someone who's never voted before? I very clearly align on one side of the political like chart, I guess. And I have to choose between those two. Like as my first vote, and I'm always gonna remember this is the person I voted for first.
Yeah, I know.
Can you imagine like having that kind of like looking there and being like, oh, I guess I have to do this.
I know exactly what you mean. Like I got the ballot, and I was like, God damn it, I don't want either of these guys.
Like
Exactly.
voting is interesting because like you always look at the presidential stuff, and then you get to like maybe the senator for your state and the House of Representatives, and you're like, okay, I know these people. Then you get to like treasurer and
Yeah, you get to like treasure
judge.
You get to like
Judge of the 13th court. And who the fuck are these people? And like, you may not care one way or another, right? And you just bubble shit in, but then next thing you know, you have a tyrant, and you have no idea how that guy got there in the first place. So it's like voting is so much pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
There was. Oh shit! I lost my thought. Yeah. yeah. I remember. I hate how this works, but I wasn't able to vote in the primaries. I was considered too young at the time, which I think is kind of bull. I think if you're going to allow me to vote when I do turn of age, but not allow me to vote in the primaries when I'm going to be able to vote when that comes around, I should be able to vote in the primaries.
I have a story regarding that when you're done.
Okay.
Just go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I really wanted Andrew Yang to win. He did not, obviously. And I remember at that point I was like, well, wow, I really don't want either of these fuckers in office, but
I'm sorry, but I have to I have to bring up the here's how Andrew Yang can still win moment.
Oh yeah, no, that was all over freaking Reddit.
Yeah.
And then when he dropped out, like, I mean, I was a Bernie guy the whole time, right?
Yeah.
And
I was
when he dropped out, like Reddit was like, all right, here's how Bernie can still win. So it was literally like just hive mind. I'm just like, I was like, reading this and I'm like, guys,
it's like maximum cope. It's like and I'm not.
That was copium before that was a term, I think.
Yeah, it was like it was just maximum cope, and I think it was just not even like. I'm not even dunking them because I was on that too. I was like, okay, how can he still win?
So my age is definitely showing here, but when I was I skipped kindergarten, so like I was like a little bit younger than the rest of my class, right? Mm-hmm. So I was moving into college at the time, and I was a 17-year-old. So when I was 17 when I started college, like for a few months. So my birthday is in November, and that was when Obama was running for the first time. Mm-hmm. And I was turning 18 that November. My birthday was the day after Election Day, and I could not vote.
Oh, that sucks.
That sucks, man.
Which I think is stupid. Like, right? Like, why can't I vote? Like, what's the difference between today and tomorrow? I think that's such a dumb thing. Yeah. You know, like, especially like, you know, like in a more, I guess like that was an important election at the time, but like in an even more important election like this one or the last one. Yeah. Or even the one before it, like, like that kind of that vote counts, right? But I just feel like, you know, oh well, your birthday's tomorrow. No, I'm sorry, you have to be 18, like on the dot.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
Like there can't be like a little bit of leeway. Like that doesn't make sense.
Not to once again fall into the conspiracy territory that we sometimes travel into, but so you live in Florida, right, Mentok? I think you're okay with me saying that.
Yeah. Okay. I think that narrows it down not a lot.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah.
But I'm on the giant peepee of the United States.
Yeah. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't it like Florida where like a bunch of like G-men in like 2008 showed up to like black communities and were like, hey, you can't vote, and they just didn't give them a reason?
Oh yeah, they do that all the time.
They do that still?
Fuck, really?
They do that all the time.
They do it still?
I mean, I haven't heard about cases in Florida. Like, I think Florida got too hot after a while, so they stopped. Like, here's my conspiracy speaking. Like, cause Florida had an issue every election, so they were just like, nah, it's getting too hot. Let's not muddy the pot anymore.
Yeah, well, like I know specifically Florida was one of them because like they said that to Martin Luther King's sister once, and that got all over the news.
Yeah, the new Florida is Georgia now.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, we've been consistently red down here, so like, I don't know. I'm actually surprised like Obama won that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same with I don't know back then. It's kind of crazy actually. I remember when Obama was running. It's crazy that you were in college because I was in I want to say elementary school.
Yeah,
You
I
were
was
in
in
elementary
I was
school.
in
Yeah,
elementary too. Yeah, I remember.
I
Sorry, go ahead.
no, you're good.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say I remember watching Obama swear into office like right before my mom took me to school that day. Yeah,
Yeah,
It,
there was.
it's just funny because like the age gap between like 30 and 20 seems like a lot smaller than 20 and then like 10, you know.
Yeah.
But
I remember there were these like voting booths in elementary school, and they gave us like computers, and they let us vote on who we wanted to win the election, and I thought that was
you had your own little
like an
mini vote
interesting-
like at school.
Yeah. I thought that was super interesting. I remember they were like, "Now don't tell anyone who you voted for." And then everyone right after that told everyone else who we were voting for.
yeah.
And I don't remember the other guy's name. I was so young at the time. I remember being like literally one of the. I think there were 2 people in my class that voted for Obama, and I was one of the 2 people who fucking in elementary school wanted Obama to win.
John
I
McCain,
live
you're
in-
thinking.
Oh yeah.
I live in Tennessee though, so Tennessee's pretty red.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm in Washington.
So
We're like mostly blue over here.
okay.
That whole Pacific area is just like comfortably blue. It's just so weird how like
What?
every election they're like, yeah, we're gonna call it. We've counted 3% of the votes, but it's blue.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, it is like generally like a blue state, but there are like big patches of red here and there. Like the area that I currently live in is a little bit more redneck, and my dad argues with people on this app called Netstore who are our neighbors, and they talk about like Trump and all this stuff, and so he just I don't know if he still does it, but he used to get into arguments with them all the time. And there's also like yeah, just like the whole eastern side. Once you go over the Rocky Mountains, it's like a desert, and everyone there is a redneck. Pretty much.
That's like the outside part of Vegas that nobody talks about.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like walking through the Mojave wasteland, but it's much much more
Random
north.
trailer here and there.
Yeah. Plus, we got a lot
Every
of.
time I think of like the wasteland out there, I think of just New Vegas. Remember how much I friggin' love that game.
Same. But yeah, no. Plus, we got a lot of anti-vaxxers over here. We're like one of the most like anti-vaxxer friendly states, which is really sad. Thankfully, they're all in the southern part of the state for the most.
Is that a democratic thing
I think
to be anti-vax?
I think it's bipartisan. Like there's just people on like both sides. On like on one hand, it's like people going like they got microchips in them. I don't want to get no microchips in vaccines. And then the other side of it is oh, the vaccines will give my kid autism, which no it won't.
Yeah.
But-
There's just like it's just a lot of. I mean, I'm not knocking anyone who chooses not to take the vaccine, but like there's a lot of pride that goes into that. Like people are denying like science. They're like, oh, the science is not there, and it is.
Yeah.
Like it's literally
Yeah.
you can literally Google it. So like when I see things like that, I'm just like, you just want to be willfully ignorant about it. Like if you just don't want to do it, then don't go get it. I feel like a lot of these guys are just scared of the needle. That's what it is.
Yeah.
You guys don't want to get pricked.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, another fun thing. There's like some flat earthers over here, like very prominent flat earthers.
What?
Yeah, like do you remember that documentary that was on Netflix in like I think it was either 2019 or like 2020, I don't remember, but it was like it was like this Netflix made this documentary about like flat earth people and like their community and what they believe in and all this stuff. One of the main guys that they prominently interviewed lives like just on like the island part of Washington. Like it's ridiculous.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like more than anything else, flat earthers have done a shit ton of damage
Yeah.
to the mental state of the world, I should say, because I think it's like a global thing. Why would you even just introduce something to walk our education back?
I don't
Yeah.
And I think that's like, it goes hand in hand with the anti-vax stuff. Like, whatever. If you don't want to get a shot and like, it's your body, whatever, fine. But like the flat earth thing, man, come on.
Yeah.
You
Like,
guys
why
don't think
do
that's like, you don't think that's like a what is it like a no, I don't want to say a troll, but like you don't think they're faking it? You think they're genuine?
Oh no, some of them are.
There are
some of
people
them
who
are
genuinely believe this. There are conventions for this thing.
Okay,
There's gotta be a bottom lining here. There's gotta be like
there's
gotta
like
be plain,
okay,
right?
Dallen, to give you like a good example, that same documentary I mentioned, I think it's the same guy that I was talking about. He tries to prove that the Earth is flat because he's like, if you look at the horizon, there won't be a curve, and he looks at the horizon with like his telescope, and he sees the curve, and he's like, huh, that's weird. The magical flux energies must be messing with my instruments, and he says it completely straight-faced. He's not joking. It's like it's
no
deadpan.
way.
It's completely deadpan. He says that magic is messing with his instruments, and that's why there's a curve there. No,
He has to know.
No, he's not. He's not trolling. He's being legitimate.
I remember one theory back in the day, like something to do with, or maybe that was the way of proving it wrong. I can't remember, but people were putting water in buckets and swinging them around, and like it showed that whole experiment that you do like in elementary school. They're just like, oh, this proves that the world is. Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong experiment, but they were doing like some elementary grade experiment that a teacher would take their class outside to do.
Yeah.
And like these people are just like, no, this doesn't prove anything. There's no curve to the Earth and blah blah blah. And I thought it was trolling at first too when I was a lot younger, and now I'm just like, no, these guys actually believe that. Like you have NBA players like, yeah, I think the Earth's flat. Like they're not trolling, man. They
Nah, Mike,
You know,
not
but that
trolling.
could be like that could be like good press though, right? Like an NBA player believes the Earth is flat. Like that's good press.
I mean,
they should just play. They should just play good. That's good press for an NBA player. Or like
Sure, that's
talk
fair.
about factual things. Like I don't know. Make a statement on Ukraine and how you feel about that. That's the way to make news. Not coming up with ridiculous stuff.
I don't know.
True.
It's like I don't know. People. There's just a lot
I
of.
can't believe that shit.
Yeah, no, it's real. You should definitely look it up, man.
Oh, God.
Yeah, like if I'm sure there's a Wikipedia article on it too. So like that whole thing is honestly, I'm not about conspiracy theorists or theories. Like there are a few that I'll subscribe to. Like Robin and I talked about Martin Luther King's assassination and how that was like.
It's definitely the FBI. It's just straight up.
Definitely
it's straight up the FBI.
there was some type of government influence
Yeah.
because honestly I think at that time there was a lot of mafia in the government anyway.
Yeah.
Everybody was getting assassinated and shot in the 60s. It's so weird.
Yeah.
But like I think those actually have some merit to it, even though like there's an inkling that I might think it's not true. But like the flat earth thing, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's like
Fake moon landing. Why do we do all these things if nobody wants to believe
okay,
them?
it's like the thing with conspiracies. It's like government corruption. I can totally see that happen. I can totally understand that. The government being run by lizard people from Saturn, who like worship the devil and have been a part of the Illuminati since 736. I don't buy that. I'm sorry, you lost me.
Also, the Illuminati is not as romantic as people think.
No, it's really not.
It's literally just billionaires have a lot of power, and that's basically it. I don't think they like pull up to a meeting and they're like, "All right, who are we gonna sacrifice today?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, we went down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, we went over.
Yeah. We talked about a lot of shit.
Yeah. We started out with, Dallen, so good to see you. What's your game? And then we ended with, so anyways, MLK was definitely assassinated by the FBI. But hey, that's just how the conversations go on this show. Thank you, Dallen, for joining us on this fine evening.
Yeah, thanks
Yeah,
for the
Dallen,
invite. This was phenomenal.
Yeah.
You've been awesome. If you ever find a pocket of time where you want to join us again, we'll organize it because
Yes.
you've been
I'm
an awesome
absolutely
guest.
down. Yeah, no, I actually wanted to start a podcast like a week or two ago, but everyone who I wanted to start it with got super busy, just like me. So that never panned out super well. So yeah, I'm really, really happy to be able to go on this.
Yeah.
Are you really a creator if you don't have a podcast?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Bro, I got a YouTube channel, bro. I got merch. I got literally everything under the sun. I literally have music on Spotify and shit. And I don't even make
Ben
music.
has a Spotify.
Yeah, I literally have everything. And the one thing I don't have is Well, there's three things I don't have that I want, and that's a podcast, a book, which I'm gonna do after I'm done with Indie Rumble probably, and I want to direct a movie one day. But everything else, dude, because I call myself a multimedia producer, but I'm so close. But
Yeah.
you know what? This can count. This can count. I'm taking over the podcast, you guys. We're gonna be making some changes around here.
Oh God.
All right, guys.
I'm
So
fired
this
from
is my last podcast, and whenever.
No, but seriously, thank you guys a lot for inviting me. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem,
No
man.
worries.
You're welcome back anytime.
And
Thank you.
I'd say just take the last few seconds to go ahead and plug anything that you'd like to plug.
Yeah.
This podcast. Watch more of it. Listen to more of it.
What?
Watch more
Okay.
of it? No, listen to more of it.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll
Do both.
I want to do some visual cues on here. Robin doesn't want to show his face, so maybe we'll get him like a VTuber face.
Yeah, I do have one actually. It's not like a full VTuber model, but I had Vossi make me something that like is voice reactive, so we could probably do something with that.
Does it have like demon horns and like
No,
you know,
it's-
have just the right amount of kink for some
no, nothing like that.
Okay.
I have a green
all
screen
right.
constantly behind me, and I have a pretty decent quality camera, so I'm definitely not for something like that.
All right,
You guys-
cool.
We'll figure out the logistics, but
Yeah.
yeah, thanks for joining us. And Robin, do you want to take us home?
Yes, absolutely. Well, that has been today's episode of Whenever, episode number 18. Thank you all for watching. Thank you once again to Dallen for joining us. And we will see you all later.
Peace.